am very passionate about what I'm going to offer you guys today and tell you guys about. It's going to be a little bit interesting. I'm going to tell you my story, just because if you don't know how it all happened, I'm going to let everybody out here know that you can do the exact same thing with a little bit of work ethic. You don't have to be smart. Nobody's ever accused me of that, that's for sure. But I have a work ethic, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is the new EXP iBuyer program. Now, when I see the word iBuyer, then most of you want to throw up, right? Most of you want to think, oh, offer pad. They're trying to take our jobs, right? Open door, they want to cut out the real estate agent. Something Nate Butcher is passionate about is the value that I bring to my clients. The value that every one of you brings to all of your people. So, when I went out, I started sponsoring people and I started bringing people in. I was bored for the last 5 years of my career. I was selling houses and having a good life, but I just didn't have anything to really sink my teeth into. So when Elgin Walker, I think he's Elgin, you got here this morning, you better be, right? That's my sponsor, okay, he's here. When he gave me the program, I was so blown away I couldn't believe it. So when he pitched me at a Starbucks 1 year ago, this is my anniversary, I sat right here and had no sponsors when I came to this event last year. Had nobody under me. Elgin showed me the program, and I looked at it, and I said, this is going to change everything. Why haven't I heard about this before? So he let me know, and I go, who's this Brent Gove guy I hear about? So I did. I got in my truck. The craziest thing, I'm driving through Bakersfield, Cowtowns, nothing going on, 7 hours just praying, dear Jesus, let this guy not be the cheesiest slime ball in the world. Let this guy please be a solid individual. Because I didn't know. I'm expecting some guy to get out with pinky rings and big chains. He's going to tell me how I'm going to, sign up the whole world and all that. Okay, so, I get in about 1 o'clock in the morning. I get there, and I couldn't sleep all night. And here comes Brent, he's an 85-year-old dad. Okay, takes me in, he spends the whole day with me, just pouring Brent juice into me all day long, right? Do you know how much all day one juice with Brent all day? That's a lot of juice, right? So, what happened with me is, I said, Brent, I'm going to beat you, because I'd love to be a competitor, right? I said, I'm going to sponsor more people than you faster than you. He'd laugh, because he'd do better, right? So he actually spreadsheeted his stuff for a year. He spreadsheeted everything he did. He said, here's what I did first month, second month, third month. Well, about 2 months into this, I go, oh, I'm no Brent Gove. Okay? I am no Brent Gove. I cannot keep that pace. So what I did was, I thought, you know what do I need to attract agents to the company? I need leads, because when I do my lunch and learns, if I had leads, I would have people come to my revenue share. So then I started looking about leads, started talking to a few people, and I found out what's the best lead you can get. It's a listing, right? Who's got the listings? The fix and flip companies in the country. Well, it just happens to be that I had somebody that got a phone call from me to Mr. Bill Tesser, who's over here, the president of the Civic Home Loans, probably the most intimidating man I've ever met, okay? I've been in the military, I've been LAPD, I've been in shootouts, all kinds of stuff. And every time I meet with Bill, I get a little bit nervous. He's sitting right over there, okay? So he says this company works for Wedgwood. Everybody write this down, Wedgwood. This Wedgwood will be your champion for the next 30 years or 40 years that you do business. WEDGEWOOD. So they're in Redondo Beach, about an hour and a half from me. So I asked my friend, well, what does Wedgwood do? Why I've never heard of it. Wedgwood is the largest fix and flip operation in the United States. They sell 5,000 properties. They send $25 million a day out to auction in 19 states. All the states where you guys work. Okay? They buy properties. They don't do what Open Door does because they're a real estate company. They're not a marketing company trying to make a buck off the real estate industry. You see the difference. Wedgwood takes out the carpet, takes out the kitchen, takes out the bathroom, puts on a new roof, and builds a beautiful new property. Okay? So I go in and I sit down with Wedgwood, and I'm a little nervous. You drive up to their office, it looks like Google or Microsoft, right? They own a whole city block, and it's very intimidating. So I started to talk to Bill. And I asked Bill, I started giving him he goes, well, how do you think that you're going to change the way we do business? And I said, Bill, look, you have 19 states that you do business in, hundreds of agents using independents all across the country. What if we took this little cartoon program and you could manage them all from sitting in the office? He goes, you're telling me I'm a $1.5 billion company and I'm going to manage my people from Uber? I said, that's exactly what I'm telling you. But see, he had vision. He understood how that would work, okay? So that was 10 months ago. So over the last year, what we've developed is EXP's iBuyer program. So here's what you're going to have. You're going to have fix and flip companies, not just Wedgwood. They're just the flagship. They're the first. We're running the pilot program right now in Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Riverside County. Okay? Each of you in all of your markets, the markets they buy, you're going to be able to sell your properties to Wedgwood. Okay? So they're going to give you a buy box. They're going to say, we buy A, B, C, D. You're going to have it in silver platinum. The platform has already been developed. Glenn has put hundreds of thousands of dollars into payroll. Okay? You're going to be able to log on to EXP Enterprise, submit that property that beats Wedgwood buy box. They're going to kick you back an offer within 48 hours, and you're going to present that to your client. If your client accepts that offer, the offer is off market. Offer could be off market for the property. You can get that listing, okay? But here's the greatest thing. I say, hey guys, it would really be good once you fix that property up, if you turned around and gave the listing back to that EXP agent that just went out and found you that property. Wouldn't that be good for everybody? Okay? You like that, right? So what's going to happen is some of you are going to do this in all different ways. Some of you are going to continue to do your business. If you run across the property that meets Wedgwood's criteria, you'll submit it, right? That's okay. You sell a couple extra properties a year. A couple extra properties for me is a lot of money, okay? There are others in here that have been attacking me for the last 2 days, okay, with almost no sleep, saying, well, Nate, I'm just going to put an army together to see the Wedgwood buy box, what they're buying, and I'm just going to go find it. If you find it, they will buy it, and you will relist it. Does that make sense? You send them the property. Your homeowner walks out, hands them the keys. Wedgwood is Home Depot's #1 client in the United States. The pallet's dropped on the driveway. Your sign goes up in the yard for 90 days. You get all the buyers and the sellers, which are all yours. You understand that you'll resell that property, okay? So that's what we're working on. Some of the other companies that are coming in are companies like Progress Residential. Anybody ever heard of that? They're a buy and hold company. They buy retail. They buy retail and they buy and hold. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, they will map out a whole neighborhood for you and say, I will buy every house in that neighborhood if you go find it and get the seller to sell it to me, and I'll buy it at market value. Do you understand the power of what we're getting offered here? Invitation Homes owns over 100,000 units. They're also a buy and hold. So Wedgwood is here today. The Chief Strategy Officer, Bill Tesser from Civic Home Loans, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about, we're going to show you a little bit of a slideshow from a partner I have here. But there's one more piece, there's two more parts of this component of this that I want to tell you about. Now think about what I'm saying. You know how you're trying to get rev share and we tell people to come to our lunch and learns? You're going to use the iBuyer program, iBuyer platform, as your new sponsorship tool. Because you are able to represent Wedgwood as their buying side agent. Think about it. Your friend works for Remax. Oh no, it's okay. You don't have to be scared of me. Listen, in my town, my assistant has to set my appointments. Because if I call, nobody will call me back because I'm trying to recruit them to EXP. Okay? My assistant has to set my appointments because I've been that aggressive. Probably not the best way to do it, right? So now what I do is I call and I say, let me introduce you to our new iBuyer platform. Well, I don't want to come to EXP. Oh, you don't have to. If you have a property that meets my buy box, can you please use me as your EXP representative to submit it to my platform? You will represent on the buyer's side and you will get paid. That person for Remax will get their selling side. Does that make any sense? So you can collaborate and network with people all over the country, and you have a buyer with unlimited cash funds. I said, how many do you want to buy, Gary? All of them, Nate. I want to buy them all. Okay? So if you find the buy box, even if it's from an outside brokerage, you can represent the buyer. Then when you get it, your sign goes up, not his sign. You get to relist that property. So you see how we're taking and using these people, is it powerful or what? I mean, you guys understand? Okay. So, one more. Listen to this one. This was Glenn Sanford's idea. Okay? Well, Glenn's got a lot of ideas, right? A lot of this was Glenn Sanford's idea. I just get to tell everybody because I've been keeping the secret for a year and I'm about to explode. Okay? You ever have a secret you just want to tell so bad you can't stand it? This is the first time I get to tell it, right? Think this is EXP's future. Think about this is what's going to happen. Zillow, the public search engines. Zillow, Redfin, EXP. Zillow, Redfin, and EXP. There's going to be a button where you can do an instant offer, just like Open Doors. The clients, because in the markets like Phoenix, where Open Door is operating an offer pad, the client, 40% of all sellers are pushing the button. They want to sell this way. But why is Open Door, are they only buying 6% and 40% are pushing the button? Because they're marketing companies trying to get a piece of the real estate business. Wedgwood is a real estate company who knows how to transact, okay? When they hit that button, I said, Brent, if everybody else is trying to take the real estate professional out, I have value. We're not going to buy direct from that client. We're going to send it to you. So when you're certified in the iBuyer program, and that 35,000 offers a month that Open Door gets, that EXP is going to get, those are going to be given out to you, and the referral fee is going to be coming back. Would you like a listing lead where somebody says, I want to sell the house in my town? Okay? So, yeah, that's right. Exactly. So basically, all of these different avenues we're going to bring to you. It's not only going to change the way you do your business when you walk out of here, it's going to change the way Keller Williams does their business. It's going to change the way Coldwell Banker. It's going to change the way everybody, because we have these being set up all over the country. Okay? So all of you will have your own buy boxes and places. It's only by your work ethic. If you find it, they'll buy it. Okay? So who I'm going to introduce now is someone we brought in just a couple months ago. He's a national speaker. He's going to come with me as we go across and teach all of you how to do this business. We're going to do a lot of them in the world. But is Sheila Barachon in here? Sheila, did I say your name right? Okay, you're in here. Sheila, are you going to make this a complete business model out of your 6,000 REOs that you've sold already? Yeah, you are, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to help people like Sheila, Tom Dates, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other people out here that I don't know that I want to get to know. We're going to help you set up your business to go find what they want. And you're going to sell an unbelievable amount of property, okay? So I'd like to introduce you now to my person that's going to help me do this. He's going to give you a little shot show, and we're going to run through some stuff, and it's Mr. David Acosta. Please give me a hand.
How you guys doing? I'm super excited to actually have met and bumped into a lot of my friends. And I'm just going to tell you, how many of you took a little bit of time to actually come to EXP? Raise your hand. How many of you actually just were like a secret agent for a couple of weeks, days, or months? Okay, so I'm really going to appreciate in the meantime that I'm doing this transition, if you can actually just hold off on posting photos of me on social media and everything, but this is about you, this is about sharing all this information, and we couldn't wait to actually put it in front of you so you can really get to understand everything that Nate was talking about and get to know one great opportunity for everybody to do business. So I'm going to go through this real quick. We have here, like Nate said, about all the different things that for the company on Wedgwood side, and you're going to get to see like how the trends are changing our industry. I'm going to give you an email. If you guys want to write it down on your notes or your phone or anywhere, or even open up an email and shoot it over, is iBuyer offer, OFFER, at gmail.com. Shoot an email, we'll send you the whole slide presentation, and also if you have any questions, we'll go there, okay? So you can do that, but there are a lot of trends that are coming into our industry, like Nate was talking about, and one of them has to do with the iBuyer. So most of the time, they have a valuation software that I can actually get in a couple of hours, a speed on offer for you. They can get their people, employees, or agents like us on site, get to review it, and they can make an offer. And if your client chooses to accept that offer, they can close within days, or depending on the circumstance, even faster. Okay? So how does this work? So there are like big people that are trying to disrupt the industry and actually take that away from the agent side. So Open Door, in 2003, $1.3 billion race just to do this deal. Even if we put all our funds together, I think that it's going to be hard to compete with these kind of people. So OfferPad, the same thing. In 2015, $975 million raised. Okay? Zillow has a $7.39 billion market cap. Okay, and they're getting to this about a year ago and doing the iBuyer. And also Perch, another company founded in 2017, $220 million raise. If you guys have been on email news, and also there was like MegaCamp like a few weeks ago, like OfferPad just joined and like partnered up with Keller Williams to go ahead and do this. They're trying to figure it out. You guys already can use this today. Okay, so you're ahead of the whole game. So how does this work? So you have listings. All of us this morning are talking about lead generation, business, as far as how do we sell real estate. And how is this happening is this. So you have leads, listing leads coming from your sphere, from cold calling, from Facebook, you get referrals, you get people on social media, all the stuff that Kyle Wilson was talking about it, open houses, you get door knocking. There's a lot of work involved into getting a listing, yes or no? Yeah. So what happens? These guys, these old companies, I'm trying to pretty much get rid of all of us to go ahead and say, come directly to me, to go online, and then I get the listing taken care of. They invested a lot of time in buyers, now they're saying, I'm going into the listing side. So pretty much what they're trying to do is say, you know what, your commissions are going down, you're not going to get them, we're going to get them away. This really sucks, right? So a lot of people said, well, I remember it was like REO times. How many of you, raise your hand, dealt with REO properties? Okay? So, and people said sometimes, is it dead on REO? Maybe it was, right? But market shift. And at the same time, people have had negative equity at the time. Sometimes right now, they got in the market, lower interest rates, they have positive equity, but they're still getting behind the payments and things like that. And some of them are old properties that, like Kyle's video, the one that got 3,000 views, those properties are great properties to actually get in front of these people. But there's some of them that, according to their buy box, they cannot do it because their funds, they're limited to say, I only can invest this much in rehab, I can only do this other thing, etc. So how many of you work with investor clients? Raise your hand. Do you think that they can buy every single home that you put in front of them? But you already did the work, you already talked to them, and they really cannot pull the trigger in most of them. They get one or two, depending on the funds, and there's like the rest of them, you're there with a good, viable lead, and somebody can buy it, so you can put it through the buy box. So how does this work? EXP said, let's put together the platform that people can really make it easy to submit these properties to our buyers. And the way that it works is very simple. They got to meet this company that they were talking about, Wedgwood. I'm going to play this short video real quick so you guys can see it. Hopefully this goes on. So what Nate was talking about, this is one of their office, their complex, and they said, let's join forces with EXP and let's get this going right away in front of all the agents so we can provide these opportunities. So we have here right now, like people from Wedgwood, Gary McCarthy is going to come on stage in a few minutes. We're going to cut off the show because we're running, already a little bit delayed with the program. And then David Worley, Executive Vice President, also Bill Tesser, who I disagree. I think he's a great guy. He's just very driven, very focused, but we have met a lot of clients like that. It could be intimidating, but at the same time, they're really great people that care about our industry and trying to get this to work. So how this works is very simple. These are the type of homes, like you saw in the video, that Kyle could do a better job to illustrate what kind of properties are perfect, right? And then they turn them, this is before, this is after, okay? And then they give them back to you so you can list them. So how hard is that to list the property, like once it's been renovated? There's another one. This is before, this is after, okay? And you can do this all day long. So as long as you actually understand how they work, the iBuyer platform is going throughout the country. In their case, they're actually not in every state, but in most of the states. And they're really doing this very fast and growing rapidly. So it is important that you understand that you can even have access from your phone and go through this in the platform and get to submit to iBuyer.expenterprise.com. You go there, You provide all the information. You log in with your regular credentials, I understand. Okay? Once you're there, you get to see how to do this stuff. So step number one, you submit the property. And then you get the property there. There's like a form that there's going to be training on this, just so you can get a feel for it. You submit the property, you put in the address, the basic information, all the information about the property. Then right after that, you can see about your awaiting offers, offers being received, offers being accepted, resolved, all this kind of stuff. You'll have like a dashboard that you can track every single thing that you did. And right now it's in beta, so they're making a lot of tweaks and testing and everything. So I don't want to promise you that it's going to be perfect like day one. But right now we need your help to go ahead and submit as many properties as you can right away, so we can tweak this and just bear with us as far as the system is being actually perfected. Okay? But pretty much it works. So once you do this, I'm going to tell you what happened when we were submitting that, because I said, I want to make sure that this is real and how fast these people transact and how do they do it. So before the actual scenario, the system was operating, so I said, let me just send an email. So I sent an email, and look, 11:18 a.m. one day on Tuesday, send this information over to them, and then they say, okay. So a few minutes later, they said, okay, David, we understand this. Later on, I responded, yeah, they have some permits, this and that, they have done some stuff. And then they said, okay. They responded about half an hour later, said, we can get this up, because we didn't have the actual platform where they can do it faster, right? And then later on, they said, we got to get somebody out there. How fast can we get somebody there? Unfortunately, they went there, the seller wasn't available, they couldn't get into the property. Then it was like a day and a half or so later that they gave them access. The moment that they gave them access, then what happened? They got into the property. Oops, I think this is the same slide. Let me see. And once they got into the property, they said, okay, so we're here, 3 p.m., couldn't do it. Once they got in, that was like a day and a half later, they said, you guys got to originate the iBuyer offer. Here are our information. Here's the escrow, here's the title, here's the this, here's who we use, and let's get to rock and roll. So in essence, in about 4.5 hours, okay, of total transacting, you got a response for an actual offer. How many of you would like to get those kind of responses from all your buyers? So you can submit as many as you want in different parts of the country. If they're not available, we'll get to you and we'll tell you that they're getting to work on that and we'll figure it out. Like Nate has been saying, they'll list that with you. Okay? So that is a big thing. And how many of us have gotten more than one deal out of that actual listing? Raise your hand. Yeah, so if you know how to do that, then you teach your people or yourself how to do an open house, how to get that prospect, sell the house that you have listed, and also collect more buyers along the way. You can actually benefit greatly. So the way it works, a lot of people actually pay from a referral from another agent out of state. They actually pay like a monthly service fee. They pay like another fees to all these companies and everything. So this one, you can get to keep for you. You'll pay a referral for the listing, but at the same time, you collect all the other buyers and other opportunities right there for listings, and then you can grow your business. So it's super, super key. As many more deals you do, you get more cash. You put them with your logo, your sign on it, you get to do more business. And this is another way for you to attract talent. So you can build your actual downline, your group, your organization by showing them how to do this. And when they have a listing presentation, they can say, you know what? See all this and that, they're trying to make me an offer. I can have a buyer like that for you right now. Let me submit it, let me take a video, let me take some photos, let me get your situation so I can make some notes how fast you need to move and what's going to work or not. And they'll put it right there. You can be sitting right there in front of them on the listing appointment and submit this property right away to the portal. Okay? So that will give you an opportunity for you to actually visit like the EXP world and get the training and get all the information. This was one that is done, and I'm sure that it's recorded and up there. I'm not familiar exactly how it works, but I'm sure that you guys can visit that more and then get to see how that works. You can see a group on workplace that you can actually get to work better on it and get communications and updates on the platform and everything else. And this is something that is going to be discussed more in detail back here in Vegas on October 2nd to the 4th when you get to the EXP conference. So it is something that we're really, really interested about that. Before we do like Q&A session and everything, I would like to bring to stage Mr. Bill Tesser from Civic Home Loans in Wedgwood, Mr. Brent so you guys get to hear directly from them their soul, their passion about the industry, and also how you guys can work together and why they partner up with EXP.
Unbelievable.
They did a really, really good job. I was telling Gary, like, what are we going to say? They pretty much said it all. And I think really it's more about validation. And listen, Gary, what I would say is Wedgwood for the last 30 years has purchased, fixed up, and flipped 40,000 properties. Every single year, we go every single day, we go hand-to-hand combat with all the other people at the auctions, and we buy those properties. As Gary says, we buy broken houses and we make them happy homes. And listen, when you're buying foreclosures, you can't get into those properties. A lot of times you have people that don't want to leave those houses. There's litigation involved. And this opportunity, this iBuyer opportunity, is entirely different and far better way of purchasing property for Wedgwood than we've ever experienced in 3 decades.
Yes, unbelievable. And I think I'd like to start off, first of all, and recognize Glenn Sanford as a visionary in the real estate business. And I didn't... Until 10 months ago, I didn't really know much about EXP or Glenn or Nate or any of these guys, and they came along and they told us one really important thing. They said, we're a non-bricks and mortar real estate company. And I thought, well, my God, doesn't that make a whole bunch of sense? Who in the right mind thinks that a person who wants to buy a home is going to go into a realtor's office and flip through an MLS book or something? It does not happen anymore. Everybody starts off right here. Right? Everybody starts their search for a home or a mortgage online. So, first of all, kudos for understanding that and building that model. The franchise model, in my opinion, is dead. So, right? So, but then EXP kind of glommed onto this whole thing of the whole iBuy. And the iBuy is maybe a little confusing to people because you've got a lot of money coming in here, the open doors and OfferPads and Perch and others that are investing a tremendous amount of money trying to cut you out of a transaction, right? And that's clearly not good for anybody in this room. Now, I can tell you, we buy from those guys as well. But the reality of it is, their transactions that they do are a very small percentage of the overall market. Something 6%, I think is what you said, Dave. Yeah. So, look, we're a fantastic buyer. I think that we buy you remember the Kyle's house, the PB house?
Love that one.
Right?
So
we were sitting, right? We were talking over here about that house. We said that house is perfect, right? Because we can fix that house up. We can add value. Right, so we're not the kind of company that buys a house that was built last year and it needs a little bit of paint, turn around and sell it. We're a company, our DNA is we're an REO company. We love to take broken houses and turn them into happy homes. Okay, so our company's been around for a really long time. It's a 35-year-old company. And really the genesis is we bought properties out of foreclosure auctions. And then, of course, with the mortgage meltdown in 2008, it was a huge, huge business. My God, the volume of stuff that was coming to trustee sale was fantastic. And we bought a lot of those homes. And it's interesting, how many people in the audience have done short sales? Okay, so there are a lot fewer short sales around now, right? But you know why? Is because the market dipped, everything went negative equity, the market's come back, and now there's a whole bunch of positive equity. So the positive equity now is still coming. There's still a lot of defaulted mortgages, but they're coming through differently. Because now when somebody gets a notice of sale, what happens? People don't know what to do. Do I file BK? Do I try and protect my positive equity?
Well, think about us. We, every day, go around and we look at hundreds of properties that are going to trustee sale. We take $25 million in cashier's checks and they're passed all around the areas in which we deal. And we go out and we try and buy properties. So those properties are still going to go to sale. When they go to sale, the owner has a threat of losing their equity. Instead, now those positive equity non-performing loans, they're going to step out and they're going to want to sell those properties very quickly. Well, we, because of the way in which we bought properties and organized, we look at properties on a daily basis, we make decisions in a matter of minutes, and we pay in cash. So that's a very important tool for you guys. Certainly, anything that is going to sale, trustee sale, notices of sale, scour those, look for those, make contact with those people, we can buy those very quickly. So the type of houses we buy is important for you to know. Again, not paint carpet, we're looking for the heavy CapEx properties. Would it be difficult for people in this room to sell those, the Kyle property in PB? Those are tough, right? Because most people aren't going to spend the time and energy and money to turn that into a nice home. But, so, in interfacing with EXP, EXP recognized that there's a really important thing for you as real estate agents to empower you to transact, and transact in different ways and to counterbalance the disruption in the marketplace of companies trying to drive people directly to a website and to avoid realtors. So this is, we think, is a really valuable tool. We can get into a property within 24, 48 hours, make an offer to you, and for you to deliver to your customer, and to transact. And I think the most important thing, certainly the most exciting thing for you guys is, you bring a house to us, it meets our buy box, we buy it, we're going to turn around, we're going to fix it up, and we're going to sell it back through you. The ultimate double pop, right? People like that?
So I told Gary about the double pop thingy, because is that really an expression? I said, yeah, you could use it, do it. It was great, I loved it.
So, we have here with us today, Dave Worley is one of the original partners of Wedgwood. It's been around for 25 years. Diana Fitzpatrick with Maxim. Probably a lot of you have heard the name Maxim. Maxim is our in-house realty division that helps us sell real estate, right? So Maxim is the in-house group that helps formulate the pricing, etc., to interface with you, EXP agents, relative to selling our homes, right? We buy and sell 4,000 houses a year, and we're looking for a dynamic way for us to, as default decreases, think about what's happened over the last 10 years. Massive amount of default, and only a certain subset of that has actually traded. Has gone through foreclosure and then resold. There's a massive amount of housing stock in this country that will not qualify for conventional financing, like Kyle's property, right, when it goes to sale. So we think we're uniquely positioned to help you drive business, those heavy CapEx homes, to direct those things to us. Now, Bill, I'd like maybe you to talk about it a little bit, so we started a lending division. Bill's division, Civic, it lends money to investors, and I saw a lot of you guys raise your hands about investors, so maybe you can talk about that.
Yeah, so my background's 30 years on the conventional side. Gentleman who spoke, a few speakers before us, was talking about that side of the business, and I spent my entire adult life in that side of the aisle in lending, and joined Gary and team in 2017 to take that really sophisticated approach and apply it to institutional private money. And really what that means for all of you here today is we only lend on non-owner occupied, what they call business purpose loans. And it takes us out of the crosshairs of Dodd-Frank and all the disclosures and a whole bunch of rest of the things that we've dealt with our entire careers, and really focuses in and around the investor. And I think that the genesis of Civic really came from Gary and one of his partners, in that they went to our CEO one day and they said, hey, We go and we prepare to buy 200 properties a day. We do the work, we've done the valuations and checks easements and liens and whether the house is occupied or not, and we go to the auction and we bid and we might buy 25, but we have information on 175 others. And so we went to our CEO and he said, would you give an 80% loan to your competitor if you lost the bid? If we were buying the 300 and it went out at 302, would you? He's like, absolutely not. Why would we ever fund our competitor? That's a stupid idea. No. He said, well, I mean, we're going to own it at 3. Now you have financing at 240 against it. And he's like, yeah, I like that trade. And so that was really the beginning of Civic. And Civic started out just putting along, doing a deal here and a deal there. Today, we're a top 3 institutional private money company in the nation. We lend in all the states and a few others that Wedgwood buys in. And we focus really on a handful of types of property. It's bridge. It's the property you saw in the picture from Kyle. We love that property. We'd lend 80% on purchase to that and 100% of the rehab dollars. So when you start thinking about from a leverage perspective, right, there's just zero chance you would ever get conventional financing on that property, like zero chance. And so 80 and 100, and then recently, Gary, we just rolled out what we call our takeout product, and it attracts the large investors nationwide that have huge pools of loans, a whole bunch of bridge financing and some other nuances, and allows them to take that entire pool and put it into like a 5, 7, or a 10-year IO at significantly lower rates than bridge financing. And what we're seeing is that part of the business literally take off. So there is a lot of nuances and give and take between Wedgwood and Civic, but Civic was really, it was created out of the understanding of how do we serve the investor supporting the properties that Wedgwood was purchasing.
So I might just mention that if I'm an agent in a given area and you know investors that might own 30 properties and have been doing this for a period of time, my guess is that they have a very low LTV in their pool, and we love to refi out an entire portfolio of properties, which provides additional cash so we can go out and buy more. Right, so that's, I think, a real opportunity to work with, and there's opportunity from a compliance vantage point for referrals.
Yeah, I mean, that's the craziest thing, right? So for 3 decades, I could recite RESPA better than anybody here, frontward and backward, and the lifeline of it. And what's interesting about business purpose loans is it really doesn't apply. So with a name and a number only, you can't be a procurer of a loan. We actually can legally and compliantly pay referral fees, which took me 6 months of arguing with the attorneys when I got here that we couldn't do it, and they showed me that you actually could do it. So that's kind of a cool nuance and something that opens up another avenue of opportunity for agents.
Yeah, look, I think that EXP has this right. I think they've invested in a different way than anybody else in the conventional real estate business to empower their agents to do more business, right? I think that's powerful, and so we've had the opportunity to partner with a whole bunch of people on the real estate side, and we like EXP. So we're excited about this. We're in the testing phases of the portal that will pipe the data from you agents into our acquisition team, and we'll be reviewing these things all day, every day in real time. We're a cash buyer. We've got $1.5 billion of credit lines. We have an unlimited capacity to acquire. And we look forward to partnering with you in the weeks and months and years to come. Here's DXP.
DXP.
What do you guys think about that? That's amazing. Okay, I just want to make sure everything's clear. Brent schooled me, as he does frequently on a day-to-day basis, basically. I want to make sure that everybody here knows. Every time you submit a property, you are paying your commission, okay? I don't want you to think, when you bring Wedgwood a property, you are paid a commission. When you relist their property, you are paid your commission. When you represent a property that's coming from another broker, you're paid your commission. Do you guys understand it? So we're not ever, I want to make sure that's clear. Is that what I needed to say? Okay, is that good? All right, thank you guys very much.